Yes, sir.
I don't know why you had that Goran Dragic thing loaded up after the first quarter. He didn't do much of shit the rest of the game. Yeah! Welcome to the 5 Reasons Sports Post-Game Show, a.k.a. The Post Up. I'm your host, Royal A. Shepherd. And joining me today, I have my man, Jonathan Romlicon, back from his vacation or wherever the hell he was. My dude, Brian is the king, a.k.a. Brian Young. I forgot your name again, bro. I don't know why I keep doing that. My dude, Gadiel Cartagena, my man, Ariel Latias, and my guy, Ricky J. Mark. How you fellas doing tonight?
Hey, we won, and we get Oladipo tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Yes, that is wonderful. So, Miami pulls out a 92-87 win over the Pacers today. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This game had me a little worried. It was a little shaky in the beginning. That offense was doing what this offense does, but essentially they kind of put together and did what they've done the past 2 games, which is fall behind early, make a big run, and eventually find some kind of way to squeak this game out. So, Jonathan, since you've been out the longest, we'll kick it to you first, bro. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit on it, right? It was a really worrisome game. The Heat couldn't find their offense. You know, it started off with Goran and Duncan hitting a couple shots in those first quarters, but after that, kind of Goran, like you said, just went out of the game. But luckily for us, we had probably the best game out of the year from Duncan Robinson. 5 dribble handoff with Bams. I think that's probably a season high for straight up dribble handoff threes that he hit. But, you know, we went down 15 in the first half. The offense really wasn't doing good. Miraculously, we made it to the end of the first half only down 2 because Hero hit that pull-up 3 in transition that me and Royal hate for sure when he takes those shots, but he's been hitting it. And then he did it again, and I was like, dude, pulling my hair out, but he drew that 3rd foul on Miles Turner, and that ended up being really, really key for us because when he got that 5th foul in the 3rd quarter, that's when the Miami Heat really went on a run. We were able to get the game close and then pull ahead. And then once Miles Turner came back in the game, it was really too late. Duncan had that big 4th quarter, right? He put Miles Turner's on the skates, and then he had that like rim grazer 1 dunk package from 2K. So, hey, Duncan had the best game. I feel like he's had that weight lifted off his shoulder because the trade season's passed. Tyler had a decent game. We didn't really see too much from Bam, you know, just okay-ish game. Jimmy had some really good moments, especially in the 3rd quarter when we saw like patented Jimmy time driving to the rim. When Miles Turner went out, Jimmy just attacked. And we were able to get the win. You know, we scrapped it out, and we got reinforcements coming in tomorrow with Oladipo.
Yeah, so I think you brought up several great points. And one of the primary ones that you were talking about was Jimmy and Bam and how they had to work themselves into this game. So essentially, thank God for Duncan Robinson tonight, guys, because that man put us on his back for a big portion of this game. Brian, tell me your thoughts on the game.
I actually don't feel great about it. I mean, a win is a win. That's the baseline. But it just kind of felt like neither team did anything great. I mean, this game for the Heat was essentially won at the free throw line. I mean, if you just look at the numbers, right, the Pacers had more field goals. They actually outshot the Heat from 3, right? They rebounded better. They had 1 more assist. The points in the paint were the same. I mean, the only real difference was that the Heat made 10 more free throws than the Pacers. And, you know, credit to the Heat for drawing those fouls and getting to the line and knocking down the free throws. But I don't know, man. You can't win too many games going forward scoring 92 points. And we know that the Heat have been a damn good defensive team, right? So props to them for holding the Pacers to 87. But at the end of the day, it's just from both teams.
So thanks to our guy Dan the Film Gent for the $5 don't know. He said, how do y'all feel about the new Bally Sports platform? I think it is absolutely disgusting. I hate it. I hate every part of it, and I'm not going to pretend like I like it. We are Bally Sports, or sounds ridiculous. But yeah, I know a lot of people are going to crush Brian for his opinion there, but let's just be honest. There is some truth in that. Miami did not play well. Like, it was just a battle of 2 bad teams playing tonight, and Miami ended up coming out on top. But Miami did not play well offensively, and I believe against several other opponents, this would have been an L for this team tonight. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus. Oh, thank you, Poetic Lifestyle, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said Trevor's offense is trash. I mean, we'll get to that too, but I still want to stick on this positivity right now. So let's go to Ariel. Ariel, man, tell me what you saw from the game tonight.
Real quick before I get into that, I just want to touch on Brian's point about how the Heat were drawing so many fouls and had more the free throw advantage, and that's kind of what carried them a little bit in this game. The reason for that being is the Indiana Pacers are 29th in the NBA in opponent paint points allowed. And so that has to be the game plan when you're playing them. You've got to go – I know they've got the league's leading shot blocker in Miles Turner, but other than that, man, they don't defend the rim well at all, and you've got to go at them in the paint. And the Heat did a pretty good job of that, I thought. I'm not sure what their paint points are. I haven't checked the stats, but man, I think Jonathan just about covered everything. The only thing I would add to that is, in the fourth quarter, man, Jimmy, Bam, and Iggy defensively were monsters. They blew up so many of the Pacers' offensive sets, just getting into passing lanes, being in the right spots, switching all over the place, and forcing turnovers. And that's kind of what keyed the run for them. My boy Sheen, Duncan Robinson was on fire. It is so good to see him shoot like that. Him and Tyler have played exceptionally well since the trade deadline. So, it looks like a weight's been lifted off their shoulders. They're kind of playing that way, and I like their prospects going forward. But you guys are right. This is not a good offensive team. Hopefully, adding Victor Oladipo tomorrow should help change that, because remember, you're getting an almost 21 point per game scorer who's a two-way guy, can get to the rim and collapse the defense, and it gives the Heat another guy who can do that. Goran can't do it consistently anymore. Jimmy is really the only guy who can get into the paint, collapse the defense, and spray to shooters. And so I would expect the addition of Victor Oladipo to enhance the Heat's three-point shooting a little bit, just by virtue of having another guy who can get to the rim, get shooters open looks when the defense collapses, and just having another offensive option when the offense goes into these lulls. So I'm pretty optimistic at the moment. I thought this was a good win. Indiana's a tough place to play. The Heat historically don't win there very frequently, as Ricky brought up on pregame. And so that was a really good win. I'm very happy with it.
So we want to thank Poetic Lifestyle for the $4.99 dono. He said Iggy is greater than Trevor Ariza. We'll get there, because I'm starting to wonder about that. And I want to thank the guy Rodney Ramos for the $4.99 dono. He said, who closes the fourth when we insert Vic, Tyler or Duncan? I think you're still closing Tyler, just being honest, because he can do more with the ball. Gad, give me your thoughts on the night's game, even though Jonathan, Brian, and Ariel done said everything that there is probably to say.
First of all, is my Wi-Fi working? Okay, I think it's actually working once. For now, we'll see. But
before you start, read the dono.
Tyler, thank you, Mr. Seven. Incredible. Tyler played exceptionally well in what world? I thought he played okay on the defensive end. Tyker, my bad. Tyker. I thought he played okay on the defensive end. Duncan played better, but Tyler, he was able to hit some crucial shots, and he just did a good job of finding open spaces in the defense. I don't know if that's credit to him or Indiana just had lapses defensively, but he had 3 wide open layups today. So that was solid. But what I do want to say is contrary to what Brian said, I'm actually slightly encouraged from this game, because Bam and Jimmy didn't play well. In the first half, they went 0 of 9 combined, I believe. And we were able to stay in this game. This game, Duncan and Tyler were at the complementary pieces of this team were actually able to keep you in this game to the point where you were in striking distance for Jimmy and Bam to kind of close the game out. So it's not a finished product, but the fact that our complementary guys are stepping up to the plate a little bit more makes me feel a little bit better about this team. If you get Trevor and Iggy actually hitting shots, and Goran gives you 12 to 15 points a game, and Depot comes in and he's a wild card, you kind of see the vision as to where this team can round out. As my Wi-Fi is giving out, I will pass this off to somebody else.
So I think the reason that we were able to stay in the game is because of the defense. I saw somebody in the comments say that was championship level defense. And yeah, you can give it that. That was championship level defense. The problem with that is that if you don't have an offense to complement that, then you're going to find yourself in a lot of games that are much tougher than they should be, and those games in the playoffs turns into losses in games and in series. So we want to thank Mr. Big Biz 800 for the $5 dono. He said last week y'all were ready to fire Spo. No. I haven't forgotten that. Keep that same energy. Nobody on here ever said fire Spo. Yeah, nobody said that. But yeah, Ricky, bring us home with the ISO, baby.
Okay, wait, did John? Oh, okay. Dan the Film Gent, $5. Also, I just want to know who is Trevor Arenas. LOL, I don't know if you saw that in the beginning when they announced the starting lineups. I didn't see that either. So
yeah, I didn't. Was that a Bally Sports thing? I didn't hear that.
Obviously, that's what
scoreboard. I could barely read the clock. I don't know if anybody else had trouble reading that clock.
I mean, thanks for the money. I'm sure 8 cents of it will end up in my wallet by the end of the month. But yeah, let's move on. So here's the thing. I think tonight was a mediocre game all around, but we have reason to feel encouraged. I'll start with Bam Adebayo first and foremost. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Pretty awesome all around game, right? 4 of 10 from the field, which can be concerning because why is your max player only shooting 10 shots? Nope, not yet. He shot 12 free throws, which means he was aggressive. He was getting fouled. He was getting Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis into foul trouble. That's what you want from Bam. Bam isn't always going to have a 9 out of 10 night, but if you see the free throws and he's giving you everything else, you're getting maybe a B plus from him. A lot of his games this season have been C and below, and you've seen some much better. Duncan Robinson had a post-trade game where he doesn't have to worry too much about being in trade rumors, and he went off tonight. Proof of his confidence when he pretty much beat Miles Turner off the dribble and almost missed that he almost missed that dunk, almost, right? That was great. You could see it in his face that he was feeling really good. Tyler Hero had a pretty solid game, 17 points. Here's the thing. I think it was one of us that said earlier, you're not gonna win games scoring just 92 points, but the defense was there when it was necessary. If you were to weigh this game, or if you were to weigh the performances statistically of these players to the final score in terms of how much they contributed to the team, then all right, everybody did pretty well, and you had some pretty good games. Lastly, I'll just say this. Overall, this was a mediocre game for both the Pacers and the Heat, as well as the telecast. But here's the thing. Don't be so hard on Bally Heat fans. This is their first night just transitioning to the new logo, brand, whatever. They're not paying me, but I just know that if you go back and look at our very first post game, we weren't amazing like we are now. So it is what it is. Ultimately, I think we're at the point now where we're starting to look like we have a team that can be really scary heading into the postseason. I just hope that we are able to maintain this consistency and that Victor Oladipo helps more than he hurts his team.
And Kendrick Nunn. I just want to say, I think Kendrick Nunn's going to be valuable to this team, at least in the regular season.
Yeah, so I want to shout out to that boy, Jay Royals King, who said exactly, Ricky. He's a hope trafficker, bro. He's a hope trafficker here on Twitter and on Facebook. I just want to put that out there. He always argues with me over nothing. What's Bally? We have a new branding situation with the Miami Heat, okay? So you guys just deal with that. So, Brian, what were some of the spots that you think Victor Oladipo will help us with tomorrow that you saw like there were holes today?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys mentioned, I think that, he is – so I think that obviously he has an ability to break down the defense. Obviously, he has an ability to get to the free throw line. He's shooting, 39% on catch-and-shoot threes, which I don't know the numbers for the other guys, but I would imagine that would rank pretty highly on this team.
He'll be third on our team.
Yeah,
behind Duncan and Nunn.
Awesome. So, yeah, that's obviously a needed aspect when you have one of the worst offenses in the NBA. Also, I think he probably walks in as the second best playmaker on the team, which I think is going to help Bam a lot. Obviously, driving and kicking to our three-point shooters. So I think that, we all expect him to improve what is already a really great defense. And, if he can take, the Heat anywhere near an average offense, we're looking at a pretty damn good team going forward. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. And I don't know, maybe I'm expecting a lot, but this is a guy who was a 2-time All-Star and he was going to a place that he's wanted to play for years, right? With one of the best training staffs in the NBA. I think that going forward, Vic can really, really supercharge this team.
Yeah, so I wanted to set you up to be positive because I don't want people to crush you in the comments. Jonathan, let's talk about the big man matchup that we saw tonight. We saw that Bam got, he got both Miles Turner and Sabonis in the foul trouble. But when Miles Turner was in the game, he was really effective in terms of deterring the team from getting to the rim. Do you think how big of a key was it for us to get him in foul trouble and to get him out of the game so that it could open up lanes for Jimmy as well as everybody else?
Yeah, it was probably the main reason we won this game, right? Because if we don't get him that fifth foul in the third quarter, Jimmy doesn't put his head down and go to the rim like he normally does. Like Gad, I think, said that they were 0 for 9 in the first half, but then in that third quarter, after Turner got that fifth foul and there was nobody in the paint, and also don't forget Sabonis rolled his ankle or tweaked his knee for a little bit or two, so he was out a little bit as well. So they had like Goga Bakadze back there and guys like that. And Bam, he had that monster put back when Hero was there. Jimmy was driving to the rim. He was getting the shots that he wanted to. Eric Reed said the bank was open all night because Jimmy and Bam were banking home shots all night. And I think that was really the main reason we won, because if that doesn't happen, they don't attack the rim. You looked at the first half, they were scared to take shots in the paint, right? After they got a first couple of blocks, they were scared to take shots in the paint. So it was key for us to get that win with getting him out. And we need to do that in the future too. Bam is faster or stronger than the guy they'll put him on, right? No matter who's his matchup. So he needs to be able to draw the foul on those players no matter what.
So it says, thank you, GSH, everything, the _27. Will Belly get minutes going forward? Yeah, let's talk something about that. Ariel, I thought it's to you. Belly got in there, and to be honest, like, we haven't seen much of him in the 2 games. Like, we haven't been able to see what he could potentially do for this team. I do believe, though, that I'm kind of figuring out his role with Precious playing the way that he's playing. I think Belly's going to end up being our backup 5. Where do you see Belly potentially fitting in with his team, and how do you see him helping us out?
You nailed it. That's exactly what it is. I think he projects as the backup 5, and he plays a similar role to what Kelly Olynyk did in the playoffs last year, in that he functions, as the Bam backup in 13 minutes or so per game. I don't know if you can start him at the 4. I mean, it kind of depends, right? We need to see him hopefully get in slightly better shape, though. He's kind of always looked like this, so I don't know how much you can really expect that. But he definitely doesn't look like he's in what we would call Miami Heat shape. But I don't think we've gotten a big enough sample size to be able to accurately judge him yet. He's 0 for 0 in his 10 minutes over the past 2 games. So he hasn't even attempted a shot. Now, I don't really think that that's on him. I think that that's on the Heat's initiators offensively to get him looks to where he can put something up, right? Because, again, like, he does have some ball skills, but they're not reliable. They're not the type of ball skills where, he'll catch the ball at the key or, at the break or whatever and take somebody off the dribble. He'll attack a sloppy closeout or something and maybe, line drive to the rim. But it's really going to be on Jimmy, Bam, and now Victor Oladipo to get him the ball in spots where he can put something up or where the defense has to close out really hard and he has, the option to get into the paint and, finish at the rim. So I'm not ready to judge him yet, but I do think that eventually he projects as the backup 5. Last year in the playoffs, Spo didn't play any Kelly plus Bam minutes. I'd be surprised if they played more than a total of like 10 minutes together over the course of the playoff run. Kelly was essentially Bam's backup. So they'll use him in a lot of the same sets. Maybe eventually they can get to some dribble handoff stuff with him. But he's primarily going to function as a floor spacer and Bam's primary backup, I think.
Yeah, so we want to thank Brian Drake for the $5 dono. He said, we pulled it out the mud tonight. We still need some bench offense, 420 friendly testing, signed Beasley. I mean, yeah, let's talk some about the bench. Outside of Tyler, we got nothing from the bench, Gad. Do you see any potential solutions for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Depot moves everybody down 1 spot on pretty much the entire totem pole. Goran obviously cannot be relied on for big minutes every night, but I mean, kind of what he did tonight, I think, is more of what you can expect. Like 20 minutes, he has 1 spark offensively where he kind of keeps the team afloat, and then you're going to be totally fine. And you also, I'm going to keep saying it, but I think Kendrick Nunn can give you really serviceable minutes, spelling either Goran or whichever guard it may be. He can definitely do something on both ends of the floor and kind of give you that scoring spark that you might need off the bench if Oladipo were to be starting. And Iguodala is going to be streaky. Trevor Ariza, I think, is going to be streaky. And, KZ Okpala, you're not putting him in for offense, but I think defensively, actually, he might take Precious's minutes as opposed to Bjelica doing a lot of that right now, because we've seen it throughout this season. Spo kind of likes using KZ as a small ball 5 just so we're really, really athletic. And that I think we might start doing that a little bit more and maybe just play Bam a little bit more. But I think the bench can turn it around. I think that's one of the big missing links on this team. But like I said earlier, they're building, you see where they're trending or what direction they're trending. So I think with Depot and with Nunn coming back, they are going to start to have some pretty good energy off the bench. And these guards are going to be much fresher throughout the game. I think it'll be okay. Not anything great. The bench scoring won't be fantastic, but I'm excited about what Depot and Nunn, how this team is going to look once they're kind of fully healthy.
Yeah, somebody said that Belly sucks.
Legs.
Said, what do you see him in Bjelica, like deer in headlights? Look, Spo's offense or defense is really complicated. You saw tonight, I think Ron Rothstein was pointing out at the halftime about how Trevor Ariza had some pretty bad defensive possessions.
Oh,
yeah, like just understand it. So it's going to take Belly some time to, one, understand the system, and two, get into the kind of shape that it would take to even be
That's
playing.
not going to happen, though.
He's
I don't think.
He's also only played a total of 10 minutes, right, in like random areas of the game. So I really think it's way too early.
Zero
to
judgment on Bjelica right now.
Yeah,
like, come on. If you're asking him to get in shape, like a Toyota's not going to turn into a Ferrari in 2 weeks. Like, it's just not going to happen. He's going to be a slow-footed big that is just going to be asked to space the floor and hit shots.
By the way,
I get ripped in Miami. Like get abs and stuff, bro. I'm fully aware that we can do that to people. What were you about to say, Aaron?
It's really wild how that works.
I was just going to say that I looked into this the other day, and like over in games this year where Belly's played more than 20 minutes, he's averaging something like 13-6 and shooting 53% from the field and 42% from three. So with more minutes, he's shown to be a more effective player. That seems kind of obvious, but it just speaks to the point that like you really can't judge him based on a total of 10 minutes played in 2 games.
You do realize how useless that stat is for us because he's never going to play 20 minutes.
And he played on the Kings too. Like those boys are trash.
Yeah.
They really Aaron Fox and nobody else up until this year.
Absolutely. My point is just that with more consistent role, you would probably see better results, and it's way too early to judge him. That's all.
It's not going to be long before we see the belly keeper.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Belly keeper. But Ricky, I wanted to throw I wanted to throw Jimmy's game to you because we haven't really spent enough time on it. I want you to talk some about how he got an opportunity to work himself into the game, but when he did decide to take it over, then essentially he kind of like he proved why he was the best player on the floor.
You know, I think Jimmy Butler has proven time and again this season that Jimmy Butler is exactly the player we thought he was, dating back to last season, hitting big shots, carrying this team where necessary, and then taking us to the finish line when it's needed. But if I can, I'd like to just mention one player that I don't think we've talked about enough yet without being too necessarily too negative, and it's Trevor Ariza, who played 25 minutes tonight.
We're going to get to the negative. Yeah. I want you to stick to him. I want you to stick to Jimmy though.
No. There's a reason.
Okay.
And see, I think someone like him, I think will benefit the more and more Jimmy continues to be who he is, because as Jimmy continues to play the way he does, you're gonna see a guy like Trevor, who's having his moment right now and he's getting his legs back. He's gonna become the kind of threat that Boobie Gibson was for the Cavs in 2007, and it's just a matter of working things in. Jimmy has proven himself to be the kind of player where he loves his teammates as long as his teammates take the game as seriously as he does. And it's one of the reasons why this team has worked so well. Just about every player on this team has a little bit of dog in him. I mean, take Gabe Vincent, for example. Gabe Vincent doesn't do any one thing in particular that's, amazing, but he's got dog in him. He's had his moments in the last few games where it's like he will single-handedly keep a play alive. And that's exactly the kind of player that reflects what Jimmy Butler brings to this team. Jimmy Butler has been the kind of player where you will have to take his legs out to get him off the floor. He will keep coming at you. And even though he was only 6 of 14, he was there for us when we needed him.
So I'm sorry for cutting you off because that was a really great point that you made about Jimmy.
I didn't freeze.
The way Jimmy correlates. The way Jimmy's play correlates with how everybody else plays. So we want to thank Ashton Rooks for the $5 dono. He said, Do you think these small ball lineups are permanent? Ariza at the 4 feels like we have to hope for teams to match up with us. I think, and I'll throw this to you, Brian. Ariza didn't shoot well tonight, but he serves his purpose as being able to help being an additional cog in his defense for us to be able to switch anything. So I think people need to understand that the correlation between our defense improving and Trevor Ariza being on this team is like hand in hand. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. It's no coincidence that our defenses look better with Trevor Ariza. He is the Jay Crowder facsimile. And I know that the offense has been shaky, but I kind of also want people to remember that he hadn't played basketball in a year. and he's still kind of figuring his way out. That doesn't mean he can, shoot whatever shot he wants. But, I think as soon as that corner three starts falling, he's going to look a lot better, right? I mean, he's not doing anything, again, outside of the whack shot selection, that we wouldn't like or that we wouldn't want him to do. So I don't know. I think that, yeah, this is kind of what we expected. I mean, I think we all would have said that Trevor Ariza would have been their starting four in the playoffs anyway. So this is absolutely what it's probably going to look like going forward.
Yeah, so thank Poetic Lifestyle for the $4.99. Don't know, you actually been the MVP tonight, bro. I think that's $15 you've given by yourself. So I thought it's to Jonathan Ramlakan. He said, we will put up more points if someone at the four could shoot threes. Bam needs that if he's going to be at the center position. So I kind of want to talk about that, like our power rotation a little bit outside of Bam. Essentially, it's Belly, Iggy, and Trevor Ariza. So the only person who will potentially be a consistent three-point shooter out of that group would be Belly, and we've already said that he's potentially going to be our backup five. So, is it too much to ask that people be hopeful that those two between Iggy and Trevor Ariza pick up the three-point shooter and be able to do that, or is what they provide enough for what this team needs?
No, I mean, you got to remember, what happened last year. We had a little bit of time before Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala actually fit to this team. Like to Brian's point was saying, Trevor Ariza is going to pick up his shooting, right? And teams close out at him a lot harder than they would to Jay Crowder. And what he does really well on top of shooting the ball, right? Since teams close out to him, he'll drive the ball, and he has good drive and kick game as well, too. He'll add that. He has a little facet to his game as well. So I think Ariza, even if he doesn't, hit the three immediately, he can still impact the game in other ways. And like we said, he'll make it easier to Bam to stay on the inside. We saw that in the Knicks game, he was able to gobble up a lot of rebounds because Jimmy and Trevor can switch things instead, and we have that extra guy that can switch instead of having Kelly Olynyk go out there, and he's not that guy that can really, switch or stay in front of his person. But now you have Trevor Ariza. He can do a lot more things. So even if he's not hitting the three, he'll add a lot of other dimensions to this lineup. And adding Victor Oladipo tomorrow, we're going to have 4 two-way players on the team, right? Or maybe 3.5 until Trevor Ariza gets it to par offensively. But we're going to have close to 4 two-way players. And before we didn't have that. Before we had only offensive players or only defensive players. I think Ariza really is going to fit this lineup, and it's going to force teams to size down to us sometimes in the playoffs. We're still going to have troubles with the opponent bigs if it's a star big, but at least we'll still have that speed and switching advantage.
I think you can count it 4 if you count both Trevor Ariza and Iggy as a half an offensive player. Together, they can find 1 full player. I think Ricky brought up our guy Gabe Vincent, and tonight he was Gad Vincent, which means he played defense and couldn't make a shot offensively.
That's me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw it to Gad because I know he's one of your favorite people to talk about and how he oozes culture. But again, tonight, even despite the poor shooter, I thought Gabe played a good game, bro.
Yeah, he's not like he plays. He can't, like, some nights it is just when you get green light Gabe and he's just not hitting shots. It is so ugly on offense. Like, it is painful on offense, and that's kind of what it was tonight. He's had moments like that this year. It was like, yo, calm down. You are not the main character, Gabe. Like, stop shooting. And he had a few moments like that earlier in the game. But his defense, he's energetic, and he's always trying to stay in front of his man. He's always a little physical. He'll have 1 to 2, maybe 3 stupid fouls at some point throughout the game just because he's trying to be overly physical. But you can just see him trying to earn his way into the NBA. It's not like he's just trying to be out here and do all this finesse stuff. He's just pretty much is 3 or take a layup and play defense. Like that's it. The problem is sometimes he shoots too many threes. But yeah, I mean, that charge that he drew that was overturned on Sabonis, which personally I thought was a charge. Sabonis is throwing the elbow. That it's like those moments I think give you a lot of momentum in a game. Just when you see one of those guys that really is unheralded, unproven, whatever, get on the floor and he draws a charge on their star player, although it didn't count, so it was really worth nothing. It just gets everybody excited, and I think those little plays like that, 1 or 2 plays a game, can make a difference. I'm not expecting him to get many minutes from now on because you're obviously playing Nunn, Depot ahead of him. But the Gabe Vincent experience has been fun while it lasted.
Yeah, I was about to say I definitely enjoyed every minute Gabe Vincent played this season. He will be inactive for a lot of games.
This was his swan song tonight. That's okay.
I really appreciate you, brother. Another guy who needs to be inactive is Precious Achua, but I don't want to, even talk about this game. I got a new game for us to play on the post up, guys. It's going to be called Everybody's the Host. I'm going to give each of you the opportunity to take the conversation wherever you want it to go. I've been trying it the past couple times, and I like it. So we're just going to give it a name. Everybody's the host tonight. The first host is going to be Ariel Latiz because he always talks about something that I had no idea I should have talked about in the show anyway. So what do you want to talk about, Ariel?
Oh, man, on the spot. Okay, let's talk about how do you guys feel like this team projects with the way that Duncan and Tyler have been playing? Is that sustainable, the way that they've played since the trade deadline? And do you feel like the fact that they weren't moved at the deadline, took a weight off their shoulders and was something that was weighing on them all season? Because, it kind of seemed like all year that they weren't playing with very much confidence. The shot profile was very similar to the shot profile that they had last season. It's just a matter of they weren't making the shots. And so we've seen an uptick in both of their plays since the trade deadline has passed. Do we feel like this is sustainable, and can this take the Heat's offense to the next level with the addition of Victor Oladipo as well? I'll start with Gad.
Okay. I think yes. I think it can be sustainable to an extent. The points per game, the attempts per game are not going to be there. Victor Oladipo is going to come in. Kendrick Nunn is going to be here as well. The shots will not be there. The sheer volume will not be there. But if the efficiency that they have had actually goes up, then this offense will rise to another level. Whether that's going from piss poor to slightly below average, that's totally fine. I think they will be more efficient because the looks are going to be cleaner, like you guys have been alluding to. And if they're taking less shots, but they're taking better shots, they should be more efficient. That helps the offense. You have complements around Jimmy and Bam. So if they're able to just do that, keep efficiency up. I don't give a shit about the points per game. Hero and Duncan could average 15 points per game from now on. But if they're doing it on limited volume and they're hitting those shots and teams are respecting the quote-unquote gravity that they have, it's going to make all the difference in the world for this offense. So that is a type of sustainability that I think they can have.
Royal, where are you at on it? I want your opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that whatever Tyler Hero does is sustainable. I think he's going to be inconsistent for a very long time. I do believe that Duncan's, I guess, I don't know if it's not a regression, but the opposite of regression. I believe Duncan playing back up to the level that he was last year kind of is going to be sustainable. I believe he can carry that forward because he's going to have to. Like, that's just the reality of it. He's going to have to be the same type of player that he was last year in order for this offense to be respectable. Because, I mean, without him tonight, we lose this game. And tonight was one of his best offensive games of the season. So we're going to need that level of play from Duncan moving forward.
My guy, Ramlakan, you go last, and then let's go to the next person because I don't want to beat this horse to death.
I tend to agree with you, right? I think that having Victor Oladipo is going to help raise that level of play for them because it's going to be a little bit of pressure off of their shoulders of, creating offense for themselves, right? Because now you're going to have the ability for a guy like Victor Oladipo to attack the rim, and maybe Duncan's a little more free, right? He doesn't have to do a dribble handoff to create a shot. He can actually do just a catch and shoot. And I feel like that's going to open up Tyler a little bit more too because now he's going to be able to play off the ball a little bit more and focus more on scoring. You have another creator in Victor Oladipo, so he doesn't have to focus on creation at all. And I feel like now you have a couple of guys that can just hunt shots, right? And that's really what you want to do. You don't want these guys to think too much. When they think too much, that's when they becomes an issue. If they can just go out there, do a couple things right, and have Oladipo take a little more of that load, I feel like this is something that can be consistent moving forward.
Not Duncan, though. I mean, not Tyler. I don't care if people say I'm down on Tyler. I've seen enough of him this year. I know he's a second-year player, and I know he's young, but I've seen him be inconsistent more than enough times to understand that this team doesn't necessarily have to rely on his consistent scoring in order to be successful. I think that we can rely on different parts of his game, but in terms of his shooting and his scoring, that has been inconsistent the entire time. So I'm just going to continue with that trend. So good job, Ariel. Gad, you're the next host because HM donated, and that means he wants you to talk.
Yes. Okay, HM, hope you're having a great night once again. No hate on Duncan from me tonight. He gave quality effort on the defensive end. Still need another big to help out Bam in relief. Dedmon healthy yet? I have no idea if Dwayne Dedmon is healthy. I used the hashtag Downtown Dedmon today to kind of promote Dwayne Dedmon to the Miami Heat. I think we do need a big just to play in the regular season unless we're comfortable with running Bjelica, KZ, and Precious at the 5, which personally I'm not comfortable with. But, Brian, I will delegate this question to you because I feel like you have been pretty much doing cardio this entire time. I want to let you have the floor. what big, if any big, would you want to target for this team right now?
I just want to say to the commenters first, this is not my podcast. So people are telling me to talk like it's not the Brian quarter. Everybody's contributing.
It's about to be. It's about to be.
Oh yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, so the big that I guess it's cheating, but the big that I want to see the Heat have or play is KZ. I like KZ at the 5, man. That's my guy. I think he is the ideal option to play there, right? I guess if I can't go someone on the roster, then Dedmon is like literally the only choice, unless we're talking about like John Henson or somebody like that. Like there just isn't really anybody on the market as far as I know. I mean, I guess Boogie isn't technically signed to the Clippers on a 10-day yet, but I mean, outside of that, like there is literally no other guy. And I do like Dedmon. I think that he could be a solid 15-minute per game guy. You know, I honestly am a believer in his. Listen, I don't know what you want from me. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, who else do we have? Precious? Like, you want to play Bjelica at the 5? I guess it's an option.
Yeah, I think Bjelica at the 5, and then KZ kind of being the 4 would be the fit.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like those two are kind of interchangeable at that position. So there really isn't much out there outside of 50 minutes of Dwayne Dedmon coming off of a broken ankle, which is cool, I guess, but it's not going to change much. So I'm going to stick with my guy KZ. I like him at the 5, and that's the correct answer. Anybody can disagree with me, but they can also fight me. So
yeah, you're the KZ stan. Ricky, I just want to ask you one question. Can you please show me your water bottle?
It is the loudest water bottle of all time.
This man's got the best grip on this water.
You had me looking around my room. I thought someone was coming in.
That's what I was looking for, bro. I was looking like I think it's the spatial audio in these AirPods that I was hearing it from like all angles. I thought somebody was in my house.
Looked like.
But no, I was laughing at Ricky's comments in the comments where he said Tyson Chandler for the win. Bro, he said Tyson Chandler for the win, bro. I almost lost it, bro.
We need to do
Tyson Chandler not retire.
Tyson Chandler is a free agent.
He didn't retire.
There's a reason for that.
45.
No,
Tyson Chandler
he's
is an old
chilling
man
right now. Listen, Tyson Chandler. There are a variety of benefits to Tyson Chandler potentially signing with this team. Not only does he still have his legs
with Tyson Chandler, Amari Stoudemire, and Carmelo Anthony, and that's what he's remembering.
Rude. Tyson Chandler he might be 38 years old, which is true, but not only does he bring defensive discipline to a front court that can be a little iffy sometimes, he can still block shots and he can still rebound. The only reason I'm even bringing up Tyson Chandler's name is that the 4 or 5 other prospects that Miami has been linked to have all signed with other teams. If y'all could find me someone better than Tyson Chandler that isn't already on this Heat team, all right, cool. Let's do it. But right now, I see Tyson Chandler just waiting out there in the wings, minding his own business next to Jan Mahimi. So
Dwayne Dedmon is better.
Dedmon.
So I want
better options than Hassan Whiteside for sure.
He can't. He's got a busted ankle. Dedmon's not ready.
We're
Miami would have signed him already if that were the case.
That's true, though, that Ethan did say, I think, on the 5 on the Floor podcast that Dedmon doesn't seem to be all the way back. And so I think if he were healthy, that would probably be the guy. So I don't really feel like there's a better option out there. And in reality, there's like 20 something games left in the season, and in the playoffs, you're almost like none of these guys you're going to bring in off the buyout market unless it's somebody really unexpected that shakes loose, or anybody who's currently a free agent is going to make any kind of impact on this team in the playoffs. It's just so unlikely.
Yeah.
I feel like we're blowing this out of proportion.
You guys are going to get fired as hosts if y'all don't start reading these promos
a name that I've heard.
Donos.
There's donations?
Yes, Poetic Lifestyle. Thank you for the $4.99 donation. I'll keep Duncan in the starting lineup with Depot. Duncan defense growing big time. I think he will be more important to us in the playoffs. You see, guys? Y'all got to pitch. But we need to move this along because the show getting pretty deep and we need the other host to go. So, Ram Lakan, you're the host now.
Well, let's talk about this, right? We're going to have Oladipo coming in, and now we're going to have Goran go back to the bench. We're going to have really 3 key pieces off the bench with a couple of flyers and Bjelica and Precious, right? So what do you guys think we can get out of Tyler, Goran, and Iggy offensively coming off the bench? Because I feel like we have one of the best backcourts coming off the bench in the NBA. What do you guys feel like those guys can do and bring off the bench come playoff time? Let's start with. Let's go with Gad. I think Gad's probably.
Sorry, what was the question? I was drinking water.
Let's go with Ariel.
Tyler, what was it? Tyler Goron, Iggy off the bench. I mean, I think on paper that's a really good bench lineup. It looks at least as good as the bench lineup from last year. So if you're projecting the Heat starting 5 in the playoffs, it probably looks like Depot, Duncan, Jimmy, Bam, and probably Trevor Ariza. So your backup, your bench would be Goron, Iggy, who am I forgetting? Tyler. Bjelica, and one more. So either Kendrick Nunn, KZ Okpala, kind of depending on the night. Look, it's a good-looking bench. I think Gad made a really good point earlier that bringing Oladipo into the lineup kind of bumps everybody down a spot. And so by virtue of that, players like I don't know, like a lot of these guys who have been in spot starting type situations before are going to be playing against backups more frequently. So it should elevate their games.
Yeah, I think you definitely have the right point. Like what you said, what Gad said is, with Oladipo coming in, those guys are going to have a little bit easier time to get going. Let's go with you, Gad. What do you think? How do you feel like our bench play is going to go moving forward into the playoffs? Because now we have Oladipo bumping those guys down. They can kind of settle into their own little role a little more. How do you feel like our bench is going to perform come playoff time?
I will get to that question, but first, I got to read my guy, Prod by Pack TV. Thank you for the donation. World, did I do good? Okay. Would it make sense to give UD more minutes for rebound? Well, listen, if you watched UD when D Wade's second last game, I think it was against Brooklyn, or last game that he played against Brooklyn, it was the funniest thing of all time, him playing NBA basketball, and that was 3 years ago. So, I love UD. I don't think he's solving the rebounding problem. Realistically, if he wasn't on the Heat, I don't even think he would be in the top 55 names that we'd be considering off the buyout market right now. That's okay. Anyways, our bench, by the way, that was a great question. We should ask about UD, just make sure he's okay. But our bench, I think they're going to be fine. You need contributions from the guards, though, because you're not expecting it from the forwards. You're really not. Iggy, he'll give you buckets here and there, maybe, one game where he's going to have above 10 points. He keeps trying to dunk for some reason. I don't know if he's, going through a midlife crisis or something. But, you're not relying on Iggy. Bjelica, I don't really know if you're going to give him that much. Points, minutes, whatever it may be in the playoffs. So it's going to need to be Goron, Hero, Nunn, Depot. He's not going to be coming off the bench. But you're going to need scoring from the bench guards, and I think we'll be capable of doing that because the load is going to be really light on all of them. So, yeah, that answers your question. I think the guards are going to be the ones that have to do it, but I'm confident that they will be able to muster up between the three of them maybe 30, 35 to 40 points on any given night.
Yeah, I mean, they'll give you quarters, right? We saw that Goran had that first quarter today. Tyler kind of had that second or that third and fourth quarter, right? They'll give you quarters at a time. They won't give you full games. Brian, I'll throw you the host, and I'll ask you another question because the other one's kind of burned out. Do you feel like when we're playing skilled bigs, right, kind of like the Anthony Davises, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, stuff like that, do you feel like when we play those kids, the Embiids in the playoffs, do you feel like we're going to have enough in our front court, or do you think we're going to get run down and it's going to be that's going to be our end of the line?
I want to be nice about this. I really do. Listen, I trust Bam Adebayo with I don't want to say I don't know the guy, but on a basketball court, I trust Bam Adebayo with my life. But let's be honest, guys like Embiid are destroying us.
He's one of one. Embiid is one of a kind, though.
He destroys everybody.
No, okay, but I'm saying, if we're talking about all-star skilled bigs in general, like
John
I don't know, I guess it depends on. Yeah, I don't know, man. Bam is our only real front court stopper. I guess considering we play Iggy and Ariza at the 4, I think that I wouldn't trust them to guard an Embiid or a Sabonis. I guess Sabonis, yeah. But whoever else we have to play in the playoffs.
It's just Embiid. It's literally just Embiid.
Now that I think about it, it really is just Embiid, yeah. I mean, if we got to the finals, you're talking about Jokic and AD and those guys, which, again, just Bam, I don't feel confident. But considering how much switching the Heat do, this team is just so small, man. And we've seen it time and time again where, and hopefully this changes with Victor Oladipo, but Bam has to switch out into a guard, and that leaves whatever skilled big inside to kill whoever they're guarding. So I don't have too much confidence, but when you have Bam Adebayo, one of the best defensive bigs in the league, you always have a chance. So that's my nice way of saying that. Yeah.
You're the host now, Brian.
I'm the host now.
Oh, my bad. Damn.
No, go for it.
You told us to put you last, Ricky. You told us to put you last.
No, I wanted to.
Last.
Yeah, I wanted to second what he was saying. I'm not trying to host. I'm just, if I can. There's historical precedent to this, actually. The 2004 NBA Finals, Pistons versus Lakers. Shaq was basically given free reign to do whatever he wanted. He averaged almost 36 points a game in that series. Everybody else was shut down. This Heat team, if you look at the way they're currently constructed, can't really do too much with their inside play. Or their, in terms of handling rebounds and inside guys. That's true. That's something the Pistons have the current Heat beat at. However, if you notice the way this team is currently being constructed, you have Trevor Ariza, Victor Oladipo, Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent. You've got guys that are going to be able to harass the wings of the Sixers team. If you allow Embiid to go off and do whatever he wants, but you're able to shut those other guys down, assuming that you can really take advantage of the fact that from a balance perspective, they're not necessarily the greatest fit, it is entirely possible that this Heat team can shock the Sixers. Will it happen? We'll see. But there's historical precedent for this.
No, the next one. Sorry.
All right, so we got to go rapid fire with Brian and Ricky's section. This feels racist because Manny is making us hurry up because we have another game tomorrow. We don't want to keep you guys all night. So, Brian, you ask one question, ask one person your question. Ricky, you ask one question, ask one person your question. Then we're going to start paying some bills.
Okay, this is a real simple one. Who's the primary ball handler once Victor Oladipo comes back? Does Vic become the primary ball handler, or is it Jimmy? And I'll throw it to Ariel.
Still Jimmy. Has more of an impact offensively, can do more as a playmaker. He's the leader still, so I think definitely still Jimmy. And Vic probably becomes the secondary ball handler, depending on how you view Bam as an offensive initiator. But it goes Jimmy and then Bam, Vic in some order, I guess, perhaps depending on matchup.
All right.
Beautiful. Ricky.
I ask a question and I pass, right? That's what we do?
You got to ask your question. You pick whoever gets the answer, and then we're going to start paying some bills.
All right. Sure, no problem. How about this? When do you foresee Trevor Ariza getting his rhythm and his legs back? And I'm going to throw this over to Royal Shepherd because kings uplift kings.
That's what I'm talking about, my brother. I see Trevor Ariza being able to round into shape probably in like the last 10 games of the season. Like this is going to take a while, and so I think by the time the first round gets here, he'll be ready. But until then, we need to be patient with his development because, like you guys mentioned before, he hasn't played in a year, and so it's going to take that time to get his body in basketball shape, as well as picking up what we do offensively and defensively. I like that game. Maybe we should start it a little bit earlier so that everybody can get the full opportunity to ask their question. But I like everybody getting an opportunity to ask and take the conversation where they want. So, time to pay the bills. And tonight we're going to have my guy Ricky. You're going to pay Vertigear, G.
All right, check this out. Oh my God, hold on. Actually, you know what? Give me a second.
Oh my God!
You gotta call timeout.
No,
I'm good.
Oh man, look at it.
Comfortable.
Look at those.
That's
Look at those switcheroo.
Look at that. Like you know what's crazy? I felt so weird tonight in this post game, and I didn't even realize why I felt so weird. It's because I wasn't even sitting in my brand new Vertigear chair. You see what I'm saying here? It's beautiful in blue. You know, here's the thing. Vertigear, if you are a streamer or a gamer, this is the chair for you. We are happy partners with them, and they are proud sponsors of this network, not only because they make good product, but because they know that, well, we're good at what we do. And one of the reasons we're good at what we do is because we're comfortable. And if we're comfortable, we can bring you the best type of content ever. Now, you are going to check the bio or the show notes at the very bottom of the screen. Once this is over, you'll be able to see the link. If you click the link and then buy a Vertigear chair through that link, you'll get a discount. And trust me, you'll want to have the discount because here's the thing. These are quality chairs. And as a result, they cost some money. And that's usually the case with a lot of these products that we see out here. So here's the thing. Invest in a Vertigear chair and I promise you, your butt will thank you. And now,
Whoever said how much
balls.
Oh, you already know. Well, we don't do balls anymore, but my guy Ramlakan is here. People love when he talks about his balls. So, Jonathan Ramlakan, one time for the one time, you go ahead and you pay Manscaped, brother.
All right, man. Dang, I wasn't ready for this one, but all right. We gonna use a recycled one because I'm on to this one, right? All right. So if you trimming down there and you don't want to have an embarrassing trip to the hospital where you gotta go, you gotta tell the doctor, hey, I stibbed my nuts because I didn't have a Manscaped trimmer. Avoid that whole situation overall. Go to manscaped.com. Use the code 5RSN. You get 20% off and free shipping. And you're going to save your balls. You're going to save an embarrassing story to going to the doctors. And you're going to make sure that they're all nice and shiny, nice and smooth for all your fun adventures moving forward. Go to manscaped.com.
Wonderful. My man, Brian, it seemed like people were requesting this from you. So you get to pay Miami Grill tonight? I don't know what everybody was on about that.
All right, I can pay Miami Grill. We got a promo video to play first. Play that.
At Miami Grill, we've been delivering big favorites from big places for over 30 years. We use fresh ingredients that pack bold flavors, and we always deliver your food the way you like it. So tonight, don't just bring home dinner, bring home Miami.
Looks delicious. That stuff looks amazing, man. I know if I ever visited Miami, that would be the first place I had, Miami Grill, because they bring Miami to the table. If you're craving it, and you are craving it, they are making it. They serve the best of everything from everywhere. Cheesesteaks, Greek gyros, chicken wings, and everything in between. You're always craving something from Miami. Get that Miami culture into your stomach and head down to Miami Grill.
My man. That's my man. So tonight, Ariel Latias, you get to pay the primary sponsor of the Sports Post Game Show, aka the Post Up, and that is Biscayne Bay Brewing.
Oh, beautiful booze. All right, hit me with that graphic, Manny. So Biscayne Bay Brewing, they are the no, they're not. That's Seltzer Mayberg. Never mind. Yeah, so they're locally owned. They're an independent brewery in the heart of Miami. They make a variety of delicious beers that you can find just about anywhere in Miami and around. They've got the Pastime Pilsner, the Tropical Bay IPA, Miami Pale Ale, and the Marlins Lager. You want to kick back after a W like tonight or a terrible loss like we've seen all too many times this season, that should be your go-to. They're also the official sponsor of the Miami Marlins. So anywhere you go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, you go to the grocery store, ask or look for Biscayne Bay Brewing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's talk about some of these shows. Jonathan, walkouts and knockouts.
Yeah, so we there's actually no UFC this weekend, but we're gonna do a surprise show on Friday. It's gonna be a short one.
Hey!
We got the Bellator. Don't remember the exact number, but they got that tournament coming down with Pitbull fighting the El Matador in the final. So that's gonna be a fun one. They do tournaments in Bellator where you win $1 million if you win the tournament. So that's a fun one. And then coming up overall this month, they have PFL on ESPN2. They're gonna have ONE FC Demetrius Johnson. He's gonna be on TNT. They're going to have ESPN on ABC, so they're going to be on national television, and they're going to be on ESPN. So we got a bunch of walkouts and knockouts. This week it's going to be 4 o'clock on Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen,
is this not the
Alex
game show?
Huh?
Is this not the post-game show, or did I hop on the wrong show?
Yeah, wrong.
This is the post up. The post up.
This is the Post Up, fam.
My bad.
You know, Ethan has this thing about naming everything, so we have
You're not a
name
fan,
now.
right?
No. I accepted this one though. So the Alex Toledo, before we wrap up, I guess we're gonna let you go ahead and give us your thoughts on the game right quick overall, because we done let everybody else talk to death. Go ahead.
We got some dogs on defense, and we got another one coming tomorrow. That's how I feel about this team. I don't trust them on offense nearly as much as I did last year, but they got enough weapons where I think they got the foundation on defense, and they're gonna look even better when Vic comes in. And I feel like they just keep better. They keep looking better and better on that end, and they're gonna make it work when they need to. They can dig down. Jimmy Butler's going to put them in control. And I think now, they just got enough weapons, man.
That's their new identity. If the standings are up, then I know my man Ricky J. Mark has something to do with it.
Ooh. Wait. I requested this. This is not updated. Manny, hit the refresh button.
We're not.
The Heat are the 5 seed.
Oh, yeah, we replaced the Knicks after they lost tonight.
Yes.
So
let's go.
Let's go.
Hey.
Big moves.
5 seed.
You know what? I actually, before we let Gad talk about the shoot around, I forgot to ask you guys a basketball question. We play the Warriors tomorrow. So, Brian, we're going to start from top to bottom. My boy, the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good. We're going to win that game. Vic's first game with the Heat, he's going to drop 30. I'm predicting that.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's going to drop 30.
I thought somebody between 22 and 24, but I like 30 a little bit
I'm saying
better.
30.
The Alex Toledo, the boy feeling good about tomorrow?
Absolutely. I'm going to be there for the game. I made sure to go to this one for sure. I got to see.
You don't know how to answer the question.
I
You
got
should
to
have let him go last.
Hey, it's build up, man. Come on. This is a radio move right here, man. I interned at 790 for 3 months. I know all about radio. But
Oh, man, teach us your ways. Oh, great. The Alex Toledo.
Depot is going to clamp down Steph Curry. Steph Curry's not going to know what to do. It's going to remind him of Kevin Love in that one possession in the finals. And Depot is going to drop, a nice 18 points. He's going to get a nice dunk in transition. He's going to get everybody fired up. They're going to go crazy when they introduce him. And Steph Curry's going to have nightmares because he's either going to win tomorrow and they're going to win the third straight.
You're supposed to say the boy's feeling good, Alex Toledo. Watch how it's done. We're gonna let you watch a master do it. So, Ariel, it is. The boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good, man. My man Victor Oladipo's coming in. Like Alex said, he's going to put the clamps on Steph Curry. And Spo is finally going to get to start experimenting with the death lineup of defense where he throws out Vic, Jimmy, Bam, Trevor Ariza, and Iguodala. And it is clamp city. Nobody scores on them. The Heat are getting the dub tomorrow.
Yeah, I just lactated a little bit when you said that lineup. So, Ricky, is the boy feeling good? Yeah, bite that bottom lip.
Yes, he is, creep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm feeling magnificent. I think it's always an exciting night when Steph Curry comes and drops 14 threes on the Heat. I think it's always great basketball. It's always entertaining. And Victor Oladipo's coming, right? Yeah,
Yes,
that changes
indeed.
things completely. Heat by 15.
Yes, indeed. Jonathan Ramlakan, the boy feeling good?
The boy feeling good. Yeah, I think we're going to get this win tomorrow. Like everybody's saying, I'm going to hop on the Victor Oladipo train. I think he's going to hit a nice Euro tomorrow, reminding us that his idol is D-Wade. That's a big thing, playing for his favorite team. I think that's just going to make him all the more motivated to play for us. And I think he's going to have a good game. Maybe not the best efficient game, but he's going to give us some fun plays to look forward to. And like everybody said, he's going to clamp up Steph Curry.
My man. Gad, the boy feeling good?
Listen, the boy's feeling great. Honestly, this is being completely honest. I've been listening to Victor Oladipo's album the entire day today. Honestly, since we traded for him, first of all, my man is talented as hell. He's
a solid
hell of a
album.
singer. I don't know why we're putting this expectation for him to put. Oh, my Wi-Fi is acting up again. For him to put Steph Curry with the clamps tomorrow, but I think we're gonna win this game, and I'm pretty confident about this team moving forward.
So, the Alex Toledo, here's your chance at redemption. Is the boy feeling good?
The boy is feeling good. I can confirm.
My man. So, sources. So, Gad, the shoot around, brother. Tell everybody where they can find it.
Now, my Wi-Fi gave out, so this is Ariel's job.
Let's do it then, Ariel.
All right. The shoot around is a 140-second or less video that Gadiel Cartagena and myself thought that we should add to the Twitter timeline so that you can consume in a short amount of time every game day morning. We'll basically update you on whatever is hot or in the rumor mill regarding the Miami Heat, and we'll probably give you games and or predictions for the game that night. So again, it's called the shoot around. Myself or Gadiel Cartagena was going to tell you to look at his little name on his box there, but he doesn't have his Twitter handle in there. But anyways, you can you'll check it out. It'll either be on my or his Twitter page every game day morning.
So, Abdel, I would like to thank you so very much for asking. His comment says, Royal, is the boy feeling good? Of course the boy feeling good. And y'all know where I'm at with it. We finna blow that shit out tomorrow. I think the Heat win by 12 points. I think the Victor Oladipo coming in there is going to make sure that everybody's on a high. So we're all going to play really well tomorrow. Everybody's going to do their job. What's up?
What if I told you the Warriors got the A-Frank defense
I
and
can't
the
hear
Heat
anything.
haven't been able to score? Do we think the Heat can score tomorrow?
No, but they're going to lock them up.
No, we're not going to be able to score anything, but they're not going to be able to score either. The Alex Toledo.
The numbers lie. Oladipo doesn't.
I love it.
When did we get Gabe Vincent in here? Shit.
Man,
He is here.
We got celebrities all over the place. So we want to thank you guys in the comments. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell y'all about the Clutch Corner. The Clutch Corner is going to take a week off. So there will be no Clutch Corner this week. So don't look for it. We'll probably find something else to
be next week.
No, this week. Well, not the one that we did. When did we do?
You guys already went this week.
Yeah. Okay. Next week, there's no Clutch Corner. The next time we're supposed to have one, it won't be one.
So you're taking 2 weeks off.
No. You're confusing me. I don't math good, bro. Words, not numbers. What's up, Ricky? You want to say something before we close?
Yeah.
Oladipo.
I do. I really do. So I was watching the shoot around earlier today. And I know some of y'all don't really believe my testimonies or anything, but I kid you not. There's this girl that I've been trying to talk to for the longest, and right after I finished watching it, you see that? You see that? It's real, okay? It's real, okay? Watch the shoot around. Your crushes will finally text you back. Okay.
They got married 7 years ago, Toledo. You don't know?
Your balls will thank you.
Yes.
Oh, you did it.
Your balls will thank you. So, again, thank you, everybody.
By the way,
for joining us in the comments.
gotta give love to Marco, man. Marco's video series on YouTube on the day of the games too.
Know your enemy.
Marco's one of the funniest people on Twitter, by the way. He's actually
free Marco Romo. He ain't doing nothing.
No, he's free. He's flying like a bird, Ricky.
Not yet.
That's kind of Marco Romo. But
watch Know Your Enemy on YouTube.
Watch Brady's breakdown too. Watch all the stuff that goes up on YouTube. Watch The Floor Is Yours. Watch the football stuff. Watch the hockey stuff. Watch the baseball stuff. They did a stream today with Jazz Santana. So make sure you watch all that good stuff. Catch up. Like, subscribe to the channel. Put the bell notifications. Yeah, I'm getting my real YouTube on now. So thank you guys for joining us in the comments as always. Thanks to everybody on the dais. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, D. Alex Toledo, for joining us at the buzzer. Thank Ariel Latias. Thank Ricky J. Mark. Thank Jonathan Ramlakan. And to thank Gadiel Cartagena. I'm your host, Roy A. Shepard. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.